Peace. What's going on, everybody? Give everybody a chance to tune on in before we start building on the topic for the day. Hopefully, everybody is having a wonderful Wednesday thus far, keeping it peaceful, positive, productive, all of those good things. So give everybody a chance to tap in with your boy before we start diving into this powerful and important topic, man. So hopefully everybody is in a peaceful, balanced state of mind. Get everything situated on my end, man, before we really start diving in. How everybody holding up? How everybody doing? How everybody feeling? What's the vibe for today? Got a real important subject matter today, man. Talking about this little fake beef that goes on, obviously, between black men, black women. We got to talk about what to do about that. And we got to talk about why that only results in the destruction of the future, the destruction of that child. The child loses at the end of the day when we sit around here and beef and fight and things of that nature. The only person that's losing is that child. The only people that suffer is the future when we continue to remain selfish and fight amongst one another. Sean, what's going on with you, my brother? Travian, what's going on, man? How y'all living? How y'all brothers holding up? How y'all brothers holding up, man? How this Wednesday treating you? But we really got to do something to mend this beef out here, man, because again, like I said, it's being heavily promoted and heavily pushed on us. So we got to do something about it because, like I said, at the end of the day, that impacts the child. Travian, everything is peaceful my way. Everything is peaceful, man. Focused on elevating. Focused on my elevation. Constantly ascending, man. Just constantly rising up and improving myself. That's what I'm on. CC, what's going on with you, Queen? Justin, what's going on with you? But yeah, we got a lot of work to do, man. We got a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do. A lot of work to do in regards to the way we are negatively impacting the future and the way we are negatively impacting the children. All right, if you a woman out here and you done had bad experiences with men and you raising a young son and you sitting around here bad mouthing black men around that young son, you got to think about what it is that you're doing. You got to think about what it is that you instilling in that child, and vice versa for the men that may be raising a daughter. And you didn't have bad experiences with women, man. When you bad mouthing the women around this daughter, you got to think about what you're doing. You got to think about the impact that that's going to have on that young daughter, on that young queen. You got to think about it. Got to think about it. Bobby, what's going on with you, my brother? No doubt about it. Fred, Khalid Muhammad in the background. Two warriors right there. But we really got to start thinking about who this stuff actually impacts. You sitting around bashing men around a young son. You sitting around bashing black women around your young black daughter. Who do you think that that's impacting the most? How do you think that's impacting the youth? See, we think these children don't be picking up on these things, man. They be picking up on it. They be paying a lot of attention. Oh, Sean, you got it. It's light work. And Bobby, no doubt. And that's what and I'm not even really talking about people that just have kids. You already know, because it takes a village. So you never know who's watching. You never know who's paying attention. The youth is always paying attention. They always paying attention to what we do, whether we want to acknowledge it or believe it or not. The youth is always paying attention. What we not understanding is the youth are seeking these role models. This is why a lot of them turn to the streets, because they find it's an OG out there that's willing to take them under the wing. That may be in a negative light, but still they looking for that guidance. The youth is always looking for that guidance. They always looking for that role model. They always looking for that elder, that OG. The youth is always looking for that. Problem is they gravitating towards the wrong folks out here. They gravitating towards the wrong folks out here. And then the ones, those of us that know a little something, we act like we don't want to say anything to try to help the youth. We act like it's impossible to get through to the youth. It's not impossible. We just not putting in enough work to deal with them. So we want to give up on them real quick. But then you wouldn't want somebody else to give up on you like that. You wouldn't want somebody else to give up on you real quick like we tend to give up on the youth. It takes patience. Deja, DJ Elmo, what's going on with y'all? Peace. It takes patience, man. And we got to understand sometimes that you dealing with children. So it's going to take a lot more patience when you're dealing with the youth. So don't give up. Don't be so quick to give up on the youth when it comes to just elevating the mind, man, and just pushing them in a better direction. CJ, what's going on? Don't give up on them. Like I said, how would you feel if somebody tried to talk to you one time and they gave up on you after they realized they couldn't get through to you that one time? And they said, all right, I'm done dealing with dude. I'm done dealing with her. It's one time. How would you feel? Beautiful Goddess Keys, Peace Queen, what's going on? You wouldn't feel too good about that. Somebody gave up on you after attempting to talk to you for one time. One time. They have now given up. Like, we got to stop doing that, man. We got to be a lot more patient when it comes to the youth. Y'all know what it was like to be young. Things didn't resonate with you right off the bat, man. There's still some things to this day. Right now, today, I'm still picking up on Jews of things that I was told back in the day when I was young. I'm just now picking up on some of the Jews. I'm just now picking up on some of the wisdom that was dropped on me when I was a youngin'. Didn't pick it up then, but I'm picking it up now. So it takes patience, man. These people ain't gonna get things right away when you drop the jewel on them, but you must drop the jewel. And if you do it repeatedly, then that may expedite the process. But if you drop it one time and give up, then come on, man. Come on, man. You part of the problem. But like I said, it's Jews right now, man. It's Jews that was dropped on me when I was 10, 11, 12 that I'm just now picking up on 20 years later, 18 years later. So people ain't going to pick up on something the first time you tell them, not even the second time, sometimes not the third time. But you got to be persistent, man. You got to be persistent when it comes to the youth. Nigel, peace, what's going on? Like, how long did it take for some of y'all to get some Jews that was dropped on y'all back in the day? How long did it take for some of y'all to learn from the wisdom that was dropped on you back in the day? Like I said, I'm still picking up on the Jews. I'm still looking at it like, oh, man, that's what you meant when you was telling me this back in the day. Now I get it. I didn't have to tell my pops that, man. It was some things that my pops told me back in the day that I would argue with him about. And I'm like, man, now I get why you was telling me that. Now I get it. 20 years later. Now I understand. Same with my moms. I'm like, man, now I finally see why you told me this and you was acting like this or you was moving that way. I finally get it. 20 years later. Finally. Terenzo, what's going on, my brother? And there you go, Sean. And that's what it's about. That's what it's about. I'm pretty sure we all can relate to being that knucklehead off the street, man. Just being that knucklehead as a youth, as a youngin'. You gotta have patience. Gotta have patience with the youth, man. You're not gonna run into a lot of youngins out here, man, that just got everything in order, all they ducks in a row that know exactly what they want out of life. You're not gonna run into that all the time. You're gonna run into that curious team. You're going to run into that eager team, man. They just want to know some things. They want to learn some things. They want that guidance. They want that role model. They want that appreciation. They want that love, whatever it is that they are after. And they seeking that in their elders, man. But a lot of times we the ones out here neglecting them. And you never know what somebody is going through. When you are elder man out here or elder male, elder black male, and that youngin asks you a question, the youngin that you don't know, and you brush him off, man, you never know. He could be searching for that father figure, man. That dude could be fatherless, man. And he just looking at you because he see the way that you carrying yourself. And then he asks you a question based off his observation and you write him off. You might have just destroyed his life. He may have been watching you from afar for a minute and finally mustered up the courage to come ask you a question. And now you brushing him off. You may have just destroyed his life. He may have been looking up to you from afar and he got the courage to finally ask you something and you brushed him off. Now that may have been enough to kill him, man. You never know who's watching. You never know who's watching, man. When the youth come to you, ask you a question, man, drop the jewel on them. Drop the jewel on them. Drop the jewel on them, man. They paying attention. Contrary to popular belief, they pay attention to what we say. They pay attention to what we say. Now, again, paying attention doesn't necessarily mean instant implementation. You got to stay on them in order for them to implement it. Again, just like with eating. If I just tell you to stop eating meat, and I break down the science as to why you don't need to eat it, you're not going to stop. I don't expect you to stop eating it overnight. But if I continue to break down the science of why you shouldn't eat meat, why you should go vegan, plant-based, If I do this repeatedly, then guess what? It's gonna start to stick. Then you may make gradual changes. But if I just tell you that one time, if I just say, man, stop eating the meat, go plant-based, and I tell you that one time and then I lay off of it and never talk about it again, you may never make the change. But if I gradually keep talking about the benefits of going plant-based, the benefits of going vegan day after day, then eventually it's gonna resonate, it's gonna click like, man, let me give this thing a try. Especially when you respect me and you respect how I move. If I'm repeatedly giving you the information, giving you the jewels, then I could probably change your life and make you realize that it's time to make some gradual changes from a dietary perspective. Same with the youth, man. You got to treat the youth the same way. When you got that youth, when they watching you, man, you got to drop them jewels on them consistently because they looking up to you, man. They looking up. You the OG, you the role model, man. They appreciate your guidance. They appreciate your wisdom. They appreciate the conversation. They appreciate you taking the time to chop it up with them. They appreciate it. They appreciate it. Oh, Bobby, no doubt, man. We in tune. Like I said, man, I've had to tell a bunch of OGs, like, man, I get it. Back then, I wasn't trying to listen to what you were saying. Now I get it 100%. 100%. Now I get it. Now I understand. I'm able to admit that now, man, just growing wiser, man. I'm able to admit that I'm able to reach back out to some of the elders, man, that was on me back in the day. And I'm like, man, I get it. Much respect. I may have argued with you. We may have clashed back then, but now I get it. Now, don't get me wrong. Still some elders back in the day that gave me some trash advice. I ain't reaching back out to them talking about, man, I get why you gave me that trash advice. Nah, it is what it is. You gave me trash advice. So I'm not saying every piece of information that somebody dropped on me back in the day was good. That was an elder. No, you got elders out here that are trying to steer you in the wrong direction too. But now I'm able to look back on it through experience and say, oh, that piece of information was a little bit helpful. Should have listened to it. See why he was telling me that. So now I'm able to decipher what was the trash advice and what was the good advice. Terenzo, no doubt. That's why we having it. JFW 321. Peace. What's going on? Bobby, and that's what I'm on now, man. Just stepping into the role of mentor, man. Just giving guidance, dropping the game, dropping the jewels on them, as we call enlightener where I'm at, man. So now I'm just stepping more into that role. A lot of the youth just looking up. Man, and you just got to show them the proper way. Show them how to move in a positive and productive and righteous manner. That's all that they need. That's all that they need to see. That's all that they need to see. And they give it a try, man, because again, that's all they striving to do. A lot of these cats, man, they just striving to make their money, man. They just striving to elevate. You got to show them the proper way to elevate because society is not going to show them that. Society is going to say, man, you got to rap. You got to do this. You got to play ball. If you ain't doing none of these as a black man, then you're going to be stuck in this system. And this system ain't necessarily something good to be stuck in. So we just got to show them other ways, other avenues, other paths. That's it. And once they see that, it's like, cool. It's like, I don't have to take this route. I don't have to slang this dope. I don't have to necessarily rap. Matter of fact, if I get into music, I can own the label. I can create my own label. I don't necessarily have to rap. I can be behind the scenes. I can ghostwrite. There's other ways that I can get into this. And then I'm so focused on playing the sport, man, I can own a team. I can try to own the team. Stuff like that, man, just make them think a little bit bigger, man, than what society that made us think, man. Society just got us thinking one way, man. And again, because they keeping that way to themselves for their people. They don't want us to know that we can own teams out here. We can create our own leagues, just like they did. They want to make us think that all we can do is just be players in the game. Nah, we can create our own game, or we can own in the game that they didn't create it. We can do that. They don't want us to know that, though. They want us to just be pimps. I mean, they want us to be pimped out. That's it. D Monty, what's going on with you, my brother? Yeah, Bobby, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about, man. Just showing them that different path, man, that better path, man. Because again, especially if they already walking down that wrong path. Now, if they not really walking down the path, then you just got to drop the jewel on them. Because again, they listening. They gonna take heed to what you saying because you the OG. You the OG. Oh, Marcus, that's all that it is. That's all. Matter of fact, I was chopping it up with a client yesterday about just entrepreneurship and black people and things of that nature, and just how more of us need to get on board. And she was talking about all the work that she put in for her corporate job. She was like in sales, and she was making this company millions of dollars via the contracts that she was closing in on. And she said they was basically disrespecting her, looking over her. And they was praising the white employees and things of that nature that wasn't getting anywhere near close to the sales that she was getting. Now we know that's how that worked. But she looked at that and she said, you know what, I'm gonna do my own thing. More of us need to possess that mentality, man, because they pimping a lot of us out at these jobs, man. We out here making these jobs rich. We making these folks a lot wealthier, and look what they doing to us. When it's time to downsize, when it's time to let people go, we the first ones to go. We the first ones to get fired. We the first ones to get cut. No matter what you done did for that corporation, no matter what you done did for that job, we the first ones to go. We the first ones to go. Just like in the horror flick, when they say the black person is the first person to die in the movie, that's how it is in corporate America. We the first ones to go. We the first ones to go. Oh, and D Monty, I think you might have just missed the part where I broke that down. I broke down when I was able to look back into my past, when I got some wisdom from some OGs that I was hard-headed and didn't listen to. And now I'm able to realize now, 20 years later, that some of the advice that I got from some of my OGs back in the day was actually good advice, and I can understand why they were saying what they were saying. But on the flip side, I said that doesn't mean that every piece of advice I got from an elder was right and exact. So I'm able to decipher what advice was trash and what advice was good from the elders back in the day. But I must give credit to some of my elders that dropped jewels on me that I didn't listen to back in the day. And we all done been there, done that. We all done been knuckleheads back in the day, especially young black men, where dudes was trying to tell us right from wrong, and we just chose not to listen. Now, of course, you got your elders out here just giving bad advice, just giving that Sambo-ish type of advice. We ain't rocking with them. But it was actually some genuine OGs that was really trying to give some of us the game, and we was just knuckleheads, and we wasn't trying to hear it. I know I got a lot of that in my life. I know I've had a lot of that in my life, man. I was a knucklehead, hard-headed, didn't want to listen. So, of course, as you grow in wisdom, you should be able to look back and say, man, my pops or my uncle back in the time, man, was telling me this, and I ain't listen. If I would have listened to him 10 years earlier, I would have avoided this. I'm talking about that type of advice. I'm talking about that. Oh, Sean Steve, man, listen. Oh, D Monty, I could give you, man, I could give you a lot of examples of some of the gems that that some of my folks gave me back in the day, man. And one of the things that I overlooked, this is right around the time that I was transitioning from like high school to college. One thing that I did that my pops told me not to do was I actually played sports in college, and he was just like, man, don't even do that, man. Just focus on what it is that you need to do if you're not thinking about going to the next level. He told me that, and I ended up playing, getting all type of concussions and things of that nature, messing me up. So I should have listened to him on that note. I should have listened to him on that note big time. And then just the whole process of figuring things out as a man, before you really start getting out here into the relationship world and things of that nature, man, just solidifying yourself as a man, basically being able to take care of yourself before you striving to take care of anybody else. Like, that was another fabulous piece of advice that I kind of overlooked and really didn't resonate with me. It really didn't stick with me until I got a little bit older, a little bit wiser. And I'm like, man, I see what they mean, see why they said that. And then my pops talking about sacrifices, man, and not even talking about it, me just observing the sacrifices being made, man. That didn't resonate with me. That didn't stick with me until I got a little bit older and was able to appreciate some of the sacrifices that he made. Then I was able to appreciate when he would talk about a man having to make sacrifices and things of that nature just for the fam. And it was like a lot of times you looking at things through that selfish lens. So I really wasn't able to appreciate a man making sacrifices until I got in that position to where it was like time for me to make a sacrifice. Now I understand where he was coming from and what he meant and what he means. Just trying to take care of the household, take care of everybody that you need to take care of to make sure everybody is straight. Then you worry about yourself. In regards to a relationship and a universe and a family structure, I watched him do that. Now I see what he means by that. Yeah, DJ Elmo, man, living check to check. Most people that's in corporate America, if you don't got a few more streams of income on top of your regular job, you live in check to check. You live in check to check. Marcus, no doubt. And that's the thing. A lot of us do be valuable. Without us, a lot of these companies will fail. But they not going to pay attention to that when it's time to downsize, when it's time to get rid of position. Guess what position they going to get rid of? What position these black folks got? We going to get rid of that position. Like, I've seen it too often. I've seen it too often. And then I've seen them also, and this is another thing too. See, people talk about affirmative action. Affirmative action ain't really have nothing to do in its origin with black folks. But people talk about affirmative action. And they talk about these jobs having to put us in certain positions simply because we are black. I'm like, man, I don't want to work in a company. I don't want to work in a corporation that the only reason why they giving me a position and put me in this office is because I'm black, because they feel like they have to meet a quota. I don't want to work for anybody like that. I don't want to work for any company like that. So I'm like, that don't make me feel better. Like, all right, we got to put a token black in here, so we going to choose him. Man, I don't want that. That don't make me feel better about anything just because they didn't implemented a rule that says we got to have X amount of blacks in here. We don't really want them in here, but we got to do it because that's the rule. Man, I don't want that. But now they didn't got away with that, man, because now they use the word minority, and minority can mean anybody other than a white male. So now they didn't took away that. So now it can just be a white woman in there. And now they didn't put a minority in a certain position. So now we don't really even benefit from that because they didn't change the rules and change the language. All they use is minority, and minority is anybody other than white male, basically. But it's like, man, I don't want to work for anybody that's saying, all right, we're going to put you here just because we got to have 3 black people in this office. There's 20 positions in here, but we got to have at least 3 blacks. So we're going to put y'all in here. I don't want to work in that type of environment, yo. Louisiana, what's going on? Nick, what's going on with you? D Monty, that's what it is. And all that you can hope at that particular point too is when you sit down and drop the jewels on them, all you can hope is that it resonates and it sticks with him and he listens. Because again, I had my pop, and that's another thing too that people don't understand. Like, I had my pops, but again, I didn't listen to everything my pop said, man. When you get around here in society, you're gonna be influenced a lot by your peers and things of that nature, man. You're gonna ride that wave, or it's not cool to listen to your parents. So you having a child, you having a seed, man, they gonna follow that same wave at a particular point. You gotta be mindful of that. It's gonna be a point of time where they like, man, I ain't finna listen to my pops. I ain't finna listen to my moms, man. Y'all, that ain't cool to do. So you just gotta know and understand that that's gonna happen, man. All you can do at that point is, man, just consistently and repeatedly plant the seeds and just hope that it resonates. Hope that it resonates. Hope that it sticks. To Renzo, I heard about that. I was chopping it up with somebody that was talking about that. Companies getting incentives for hiring veterans. That's just and for me, that type of stuff don't sit well with me, man. You getting money based off of hiring me and putting me in a certain position. I don't want to work with you. You're not gonna listen to anything that I'm saying. I don't want to work in that type of company. No, you need to give me what I deserve because I deserve it. Because I work hard, because I'm good at what I do. Don't just give it to me because it's got like I gotta meet a quota. And we get paid for doing it too. I don't want that. I don't want that. Because again, it's benefiting you more than it's benefiting me. Because at the end of the day, you just finna stress me out. I'm finna be outnumbered. And you're not about to listen to anything that I say. Or if you do listen, you just gonna steal it. You're gonna steal my idea and run with it. And take all the credit for it. CC, no doubt. And that's what it is. The sad thing about it is some people when they become an adult or when they become a man, they still think in a childish manner. So you got grown people that are still children mentally, and that's a problem. Yeah, D Monty, the word minority base. If you're not a white man, you fit into the role, because again, affirmative action originally was created for white women. So that's why it was really created in the first place, to benefit white women, because again, they were actually the minority, which they would still classify as that. So that's the reason why it was created in the first place. I got a whole book called When Affirmative Action Was White. So affirmative action was created to benefit white folks, particularly white women. So it ain't had nothing to do with black folks. So like, I don't even know why people think that affirmative action was something that was created to benefit us in the first place, because it really was not. It really wasn't. And DJ Elmo, the crazy thing about it is, people of color, you know, the culture that I come from, we call white folks colored people. So that's funny too. That's funny too. We don't refer to black people or the original man as a colored person. Don't do that. And that's trick knowledge, because they are really the color folks. Just if you want to, and to show and prove that, just make somebody white mad and see how they change colors and things of that nature. That's a colored person right there. That's a colored person right there. You make that white person mad, man, watch what they face do. Turn all type of colors. But they call us colored people. Oh, Nick, man, hey, there you go. And like I'm saying, man, people don't understand. People make silly statements, and y'all heard me say this all the time when I'm just encouraging people to strive for entrepreneurship and do their own things, be self-sufficient. People be like, oh, well, you got to have workers out here. You got to have employees. I'm like, dude, we know this, but y'all ain't looking in the workforce. Y'all ain't looking in the work field. It's too many of us right now that are employees for the enemy. So again, like, we need more black-owned businesses. We need more black-owned businesses, man, period. We out here being employees. We out here giving all our blood, sweat, and tears to these white corporations, man. We slaving to these white corporations. We employees for them. We enriching, and we building up their empires, benefiting them, benefiting the enemy. And we wonder why we still at the bottom. More of us got to break free from that. More of us got to break free from that, man. They got a hold on us, and a lot of us got to break free from it. So I'm going to continue to push entrepreneurship amongst my people, ownership amongst my people, investing amongst my people. I'm going to continue to push it, because it's not enough of us out here. It's not enough. We can afford to have a lot more. We can afford to have a lot more. Lindell, peace, what's going on? Terenzo, you already know how I go, man. My pops military, man. So I know exactly how I go. But, you know, my pops ended up, you know, learning a good skill, aircraft mechanic. So he was going to be good either way. But yeah, my pops is a veteran type deal. So I already know. Yeah, D Monty, and that's what I was talking about in the last video. They trying to tell us we the minority, which they know the truth, but we don't. So we think we the minority when really we are the majority. Oh, MCJ Rock, I already know what it's like, man, to work, man. I worked at a manufacturing plant the summer before my last year of college, man. Straight up slavery. Man, it was straight up slavery to the point where, like, it was hot. It was during the summer, yo. And they wouldn't allow us to get like free water until the temperature got like above 100. And it was like 105 degrees. When they got above like 105 or 110, then we was able to get the water. They was holding on to the water. So you had to bring your own joint. But it was so hot in there, whatever you brought, man, you pretty much devoured it before lunch because it was so hot. So that was like, that's a plantation at its finest. Like, we serve a greater purpose than to be out here slaving on in these manufacturing plants, man. That I definitely realized at that point I deserve more than this. I can't be doing this. Can't be doing it. Yeah, see, and we talk about, you know, original, the black. See, black, we absorb all of that energy. We absorb all the colors. Everything stems from that black. Everything comes out of that black, including all your colors. Including all your colors. So we the essence of all colors. All the colors stem from us. All the color stems from that blackness. That's where all the color comes from. From that blackness, you finna get, as they talk about the grafting process, you're gonna get brown, red, yellow, and white from that blackness. Yeah, DeMonte, and we know how that go. The more you make, the more they take. The more you make, the more they take out here. That's why it's great to be like a business owner and be an investor, because guess what? The tax laws work in your favor. All you got to do is learn them. But when you are an employee, the tax laws really don't benefit you. So you paying a lot more in taxes than you really need to be paying. When you own or when you invest, then you get a lot of tax breaks. You get a lot of tax breaks, man. You get a lot. Oh, Nick, we all been there. We all been there not understanding our value. And at some point, like that's when it resonates like that, that's when you work on that exit plan. Like, dude, I'm more valuable than this. And that's all I kept telling myself. I was telling myself that on a daily basis. I'm like, man, I'm better than what I'm doing. I'm better than this job. And that wasn't to talk down on nobody. I just knew my worth at that particular point. And I was like, I'm more valuable than what I'm offering here. I'm more valuable than what I'm offering here, man. I could be doing a lot more. I could be doing a lot more greater things with my time, with my life, with my energy than doing this. So I got to get up out the game. This is a waste of like my talents. This is a waste of my skill set. So once I realized that, worked on my exit plan and got out of the game. I couldn't waste my time, man. Time is valuable. Time is precious. And every time I clocked in, I just felt like I was wasting my life, man. And I didn't like that feeling, because at the end of the day, anything can happen to you. So I'm like, man, if something was to happen to me right now to where I wasn't able to do anything anymore, would I be satisfied with my life? The answer was no. So I was like, no, I got to do some things I can look back and say, man, I at least did this, that, and the third, and I'm satisfied. So I had to have that honest assessment with myself, man. And once I realized that, no, I'm not happy with my life up to this point in regards to the moves that I've made from a career perspective and a job perspective, it was time to make some changes. It was time to make some changes. And I ain't looked back since. I'm moving how I want to move. I'm moving how I want to move. And they can't stop me. They can't stop me. And they can't stop you once you decide to move how it is that you want to move. There is no stopping you. There will be no stopping you. And that's another thing too, piggybacking on the topic of the actual video, which is when we destroy the youth in the future, when we fight, when we beef, when we are at odds. See, another thing that we got to realize too, it's a lot of people that talk about breadwinners and things of that nature, who racking in the income. One thing that I realized, for one, that really shouldn't even be an issue. But one thing that I realized though, when you are a black man, and it's just an actual fact, when you are a black man, it's only a few routes that you can take if you are striving to earn a decent living in America. And one of the main routes you're going to have to take is doing something for yourself. Because if you a black man caught up in the corporate system, man, you are going to be the most overlooked. They don't want you rising up at all. You are the black woman, but they definitely don't want black men up in those offices. They don't want black men as CEOs in those companies unless the black man has agreed to certain stipulations, basically to be a Sambo and sell his people out. But when you are a righteous black man, you are going to have an impossible time trying to climb up the ladder. And that's what I realized. There is no way that I was going to get what I deserved as a black man in corporate America, talking about what I talk about, standing for what I stand for. It was like the only way for me to earn a decent living was for me to do my own thing. That's it. So it's like, if you caught up in that corporate cycle as a black man, listen, you ain't gonna have too many options unless you willing to sell yourself out. If you're not willing to sell yourself out as a black man in corporate America, then you have got to be an owner. You have got to start investing, because you're not gonna have many options, yo. Or you just gonna be totally disrespected out here. You're gonna be overworked, underpaid for the rest of your life. The only true way for the black man to get what he's worth is to do for himself, literally. Unless you cool with selling yourself out and selling your people out. If you cool with that, if you cool with being a sellout, if you cool with laughing with these white folks when they nothing funny, then you good. If you cool with cutting your hair when they tell you to cut your hair, you cool. If you cool with rocking that bald head with the suit because they told you to do that, even though you don't want to, then you good. But if you like me, then it ain't too many options for you. You're not gonna have too many options. You ain't gonna have too many options. So when we striving to bring in that income as black men, when we striving to generate that revenue as black men, we got to do our own things, man. It's just a fact. It's just a fact. If you stuck in the corporate cycle, then you gonna have to do your own thing on the weekends or something like that. That's some old advice that I got from like the people that was dropping game in my pops. They was like, look, we gonna do this for the white man for Monday through Friday, but then during the weekend, we gonna chop up logs and do our own thing. So it's like, as a black man, you gonna have to have either a side hustle, or your main hustle gonna have to be something that you own. Because again, they gonna disrespect you ridiculously as a black man. They gonna disrespect you ridiculously. They don't have any problem. And this is another thing that people don't understand. They don't have a problem. And this is, they know what's happening when they give black women certain positions. They know the type of friction that's creating within the black family. They don't have no problem with giving some of these black women like high positions to where it's like, boom, now they making more than the man. They know what that's creating subconsciously. Sometimes it's creating that consciously, but they know that's what they doing. They know what they doing when they do that. Like, we gonna get these women all these high positions. Meanwhile, we gonna keep the dudes at the bottom. We gonna keep the black men at the bottom. That's gonna create a problem within the family structure. And that is exactly what it did. Listen, I come from a household where my pops was the breadwinner. Like, that's what he was the head of the household, like financially. He brought in the revenue. He brought in the money. He was the breadwinner. That's where I came from. That's where he came from. That's what he saw. They didn't try to change that. They don't like that. They didn't like that. They didn't like young black men coming up seeing they elders take care of the household financially. They didn't like that. They was like, all right, we got to flip the script on here. We got to flip the script. We got to flip the script. Just and think about it. Think about it. When you look in the media, you got a lot of songs, a lot of these women out here like, oh, I don't need no man, this, that, and the third. How much of that was you really hearing back in the day? How much of that was you really hearing back in the day? It was like, man, they needed that. They needed that, man. The man was the breadwinner. The man was the head of that household. They needed him. Now they didn't flip the script. They didn't flip the script. And I applaud it. Hey, these women out here doing their thing, I applaud it. But as black men, we got to understand that we got to take different paths if we trying to reclaim that power and that position as head of household. We got to do our own thing. We got to create our own corporate America, corporate black America. That's the only way that we gonna ever get that back, because they not gonna let most of us in those corporate circles to where it's like we making a respectable wage. They just gonna give us the disrespectful money. That's what they gonna do. Marcus G, you already know it. Somebody asked a good question. They was like, man, how many? And it's just like commentators, things of that nature. They was like, how many commentators do you see? Black commentators do you see with locks, with hair? Like, you don't see that many of them. You may see a select few here and there, but you don't see that many of them. You don't see that. D Monty, no doubt. And I remember I was looking for that in St. Louis when I first got out of college. I was like, hey, Magic Realms, peace, what's going on? I was like, man, I need to find a black-owned business to work for. Couldn't find any. So I had to just basically create my own situation. And D Monty, that yep, exactly. And I have broken this down several times. I've broken this down several times when they when they get down on these brothers in regards to the money that they are generating. You have got to understand what we up against out here. Some of us we're truly trying to earn an honest living, but we were getting disrespected simply because we are black men. So it's like the brothers out here striving to do what's honest. Look how they doing this. And what do I mean by honest? Like I said, I'm not finna sell myself out. I'm not about to kiss up to these white folks to be getting raises and bonuses. Like I'm finna come in, do my duty and leave, do my job and leave. The ones of us that's doing that, we getting disrespected out here. We getting disrespected just because we not willing to kiss up to these white folks. We not buck dancing. We not selling ourselves out. We not selling out our people. Like we got to get placed at the bottom. We got to get placed at the bottom. And a lot of people not understanding that. So when you got that black man that's trying to do honest work to earn his living, man, you got to know what he up against. He up against a lot. Oh, MCJ Rocker, no doubt, 1,000%. 1,000%. That's why I say people don't really understand what we up against. People do not really understand what we up against. And even, and I'm going to flip it back to school. I'm going to flip it back to school. Let's think about it. College, the whole school setting, the way that they trying to force us to learn, the way that they try to force us to learn, who is that conducive for? They got enough science out here that's let you know that sitting in a classroom, like a young black male or young male in general, that's not a conducive environment for him. We need to be active. We need to do things that's hands-on. They've already showed and proved to you who that actually benefits. It does not benefit us. We cannot be sitting around listening to somebody talk. Women can do that. Young girls can do that more so than we can. So even the school system is set up against us in regards to the way that we have to learn. We are not able to learn that way for the most part. Then we get misdiagnosed with ADHD and things of that nature, when really the learning style, the way y'all trying to force us to learn, is not conducive with the way that we actually need to learn. So, man, we up against so much starting as a young bull. So we get placed on medication simply because y'all trying to force us to learn in a way that's not beneficial to us. How is that my fault? Because I need to be active to learn, and you trying to tell me I need to sit down. How is that my fault? How do I got to get diagnosed with a sickness because of that? An illness because of that? An ailment because of that? That's not my fault. It's my nature, man. I got to be up. I got to run. I got to do something. So we getting punished for that. Yeah, Nick Lewis, when you a black man and you a proud black man, when you stand on that manhood, that black manhood, you a problem out here. You a problem out here. They gonna come at you. They gonna come at you. They gonna attack you. CC, man, we appreciate you just acknowledging that, because it's a lot of queens out here, a lot of sisters out here that will not acknowledge that. And that's the part that bothers me, because I'm able to sympathize, empathize, and all of that, and put myself in a black woman's shoes and say, man, y'all going through some things. But when it's time to flip the script, a lot of sisters just can't do that. And they won't do that. They want to make it seem like, well, I'm doing this, that, and the third. You should be able to do that. I cannot stand when that is stated. Whole different ball game. Whole different ball game, man. Whole different ball game. So we got to start dealing with nature and things of that nature. And Travian, and there we go. I just saw what you said after I said what I said. So, yep. And D Monty, and that's what I'm saying. And that's another thing that people don't realize. Sometimes I don't like when, all right, sometimes I got a problem when women try to speak on our behalf, because I'm like, it's a lot of things that y'all don't understand. It's like women that came and they be like, man, why do y'all like to play football? Why y'all like to watch football? I'm like, man, that's that competitive nature, man. It's that competitive nature, that testosterone. Like, we get a thrill out of playing sports like that for the most part. That's why we do it. Don't expect for y'all to understand that. Same thing when it comes to what you talking about, D Monty. What they don't understand is it's certain things that as men, and again, this could be pride, this could be ego. But that's the way a lot of us was raised as men, as young black men. And if you're not a young black man, you don't understand it because you was not raised according to this information, according to this knowledge, according to this advice. As a black man, it's just certain things that you was taught not to tolerate, not to put up with, not to do in regards to a profession. So it's like when things are not lining up, when you're not able to provide for your universe as a black man, they have told you that that makes you weak. So you out here trying to make an honest living, but you getting rejected. So you're not bringing in revenue. So as a man, you were raised with the information that since you're not able to provide for your universe, you're not a man. So guess what? When all them doors are being closed on you in corporate America, you finna take alternative measures that may be illegal because you got to bring in some type of revenue for your universe. Because as a man, that's what you were taught to do. So people don't understand the psychology that comes with being raised as a young black man. We was taught to be that breadwinner. And it's like when you try to do it the honest way and you getting slapped in the face, man, it's like, all right, it's time to roll. I remember Nipsey was talking about that, man. He was trying to get jobs out here, man, and they was just telling him no, getting rejected. And it was like little jobs that he knew he could do. They was rejecting him. So he was like, man, I gotta generate some income. I gotta do something. I gotta make something happen. So it's only so many times that you finna allow them to close doors in your face, man, before you think of ways to make some money out here. So it's like, man, I ain't even finna front with you. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all, man. I have said it several times. I see why brothers sell dope out here. I see why. I'm not condoning it, but I see why some brothers just feel like, man, they got to do it. Because them brothers may not be in tune with who they are. They may not know of a legit way to earn a living. Literally, like they may feel like they not good at anything. They may feel like they not able to learn certain things. They may just feel like that. And I can understand that up to a point. Now, we know that that's not necessarily true, but I can understand how some brothers will feel like that. And they be like, man, look, only thing I can do is go out here in the streets and slang. Because I done tried to get these jobs. I done worked on these jobs. They done disrespected me. Man, they paying me $9 an hour and they expect for me to do more work than the manager. Like, I ain't finna do that. I ain't finna do that, man. I'm finna be out here busting my behind for $9 an hour, and this ain't even full-time work. Nah, like I gotta do something else. I got a kid, I gotta take care of my family, something like that, man. So I understand that. Again, I'm not condoning it, but I can understand that because you just trying to earn a living. Man, I'm not even gonna lie to you. Y'all know the bank. I done been robbed twice at the banks where I was at. The brother that came in there with the gun, man, I looked at him and I was just like, man, I ain't even mad at dude for doing what he did. It was like, man, I don't like this dude may be down bad, man, and he just may not know any other route. He just feel like this is the route right here that I got to stick up this bank. Because I just got to stick up this bank. I probably got a record and I've been trying to get these jobs and they denying me. Even the jobs that they say accept you with the record and things of that nature, they just denying me. I'm not the best at interviews and I'm getting penalized for that. Like, you never know what people going through, man. You never know what people going through. So I ain't out here judging people based off of some things that I may deem that's negative or toxic or destructive. I don't know what that brother is going through. I don't know the line of thinking that brother possesses. So I'm not about to judge that brother. Yeah, I can show him another way. I can definitely show him another way after I chop it up with him, but I'm not about to just solely judge and condemn that brother for the choices that he has made to provide, because I don't know what led up to that point. That brother could have literally been striving to make an honest living and it wasn't working out that way. And he had some people that he had to take care of, man. So he took measures into his own hand. The biggest dope dealer is the government, man. So again, we out here criticizing and judging these folks, but some of these corporations that we work for, they push dope. They smuggling drugs. They behind it. They supporting that. They supporting all that. They funding a lot of that. So we working for some of these drug dealers, but we finna be out here condemning our brothers and sisters. Meanwhile, we working for people that fund the biggest drug dealers. So come on now. Come on now. Oh, Travian, I remember that. When you post black men and you point out the fact that ain't none of them homosexual, all of a sudden now that is a problem. But I remember that though. I remember that. JFW 321, and that's in our nature, man. So we gonna strive to do everything possible to make sure we provide. And sometimes that may mean take illegal measures, but it's like it is what it is, man. If we trying to do it the honest way and y'all slamming all these doors in our faces, man, you can't be mad at us for trying to make this money. Because again, we gonna need this money to do what's necessary to feed the fam. Lindell, no doubt about it. When you had that knowledge yourself, you were able to decipher and determine and detect a lot. Yeah, CC, technology is definitely taking over. So it's getting rid of a lot of the manufacturing jobs, man, because these robots, the automation is taking over. Who is that impacting the most? Black folk. Black folks, that's impacting us the most. When you go into these manufacturing plants, you finna see a lot of us in these joints. That's impacting us the most. They finna be getting all the high-tech jobs, man. So again, we gotta fight that. We about to have to fight that. We already fighting it, but it's gonna get worse in the future. Oh, Nick, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. And that's where some of us come in, just teaching them a better way. Because it's like, man, you got ambition. You out here, listen, you a good salesman, man. You able to sling this dope, man. You able to sell this dope, make a generous profit. You good at sales. We just got to find you something that's legal, something that's not destructive to sell, something that you fool with that's not destructive and legal for you to sell and push. Then you're going to be out here making a killing because you got the drive and ambition to make the money. So all we got to do is find something that resonates with you, something that you rock with, so you can push and sell that instead of this dope. Magic rims, we already know. CIA, crack in America. They responsible for the crack in America and things of that nature. Louisiana, exactly. And that, like I said, that is exactly why I don't judge. That's exactly why I don't condemn. Tony Briscoe. Now you may be correct, but the thing of it is, studying business, listen, a lot of things could sell themselves, but with proper marketing, or when you got somebody that's good at selling, that's only going to make it better. That's only going to make it better, because you would think some of the stuff that I do being in fitness, you would think a lot of this stuff sells itself, because it's like, we know how obese and overweight the planet is. So you would think I really wouldn't have to go hard selling people on training, selling people on this powder to help them lose weight, selling people on this regimen to help them lose weight. But you got to do it though. People know that they got to get fit. People know that they got to lose the weight. So this stuff should sell itself. But when you are good at selling it, that makes it that much better. That makes it that much better, man. So you can have a great product, but a bad salesman, and they don't do as good, because there's plenty of people in the dope game that don't do good. It's plenty of people that sell the dope that supposedly sells itself that don't necessarily make a profit. So when you got somebody that's actually good at selling, even if you think the product sells itself, they're going to make a killing. They're going to make a killing. Somebody can sell you, listen, somebody can sell you on some dope and they could be lying. They could be lying. They can make it seem like this dope is top notch from wherever the purest dope is from. That's selling. If somebody just comes to you and it's like, man, I just got this dope for sale, that's a bad salesman, man. They not really selling you on that particular dope. Messed up that we talking about selling dope, but that's the difference between somebody that's great at selling and somebody that's mediocre at it. You gonna buy the dope from the person that's telling you, man, this is the purest dope from such and such and such and such. You gonna buy that opposed to somebody that say, man, I just got some dope. Oh, DJ Elmo, no doubt. And that's why I resonate with the story of Malcolm. He was Detroit Red. Then he became Malcolm X when he got locked up and read Message to the Black Man. So he was Detroit Red, man. He was out here a savage in pursuit of happiness, and then he turned into Malcolm X on us. D-Money, I'm gonna have to tap into that. Oh, DJ Elmo, you already know they're gonna do that. That you already know. Like, what's the movie? Minority Report. When they was basically when they was locking you up for a crime you didn't commit, but they were saying you was gonna commit it in the future. That's how they gonna use AI and robots and all that to discriminate against us. We gonna start getting locked up for crimes we didn't commit, but this robot said we gonna commit it next week. So they definitely gonna use them for tools of discrimination. We saw that in the movie Minority Report. Robot locking you up for a crime you have yet to commit, but it says you're gonna commit it in the future. Like, that's gonna be definitely used. How we gonna argue with that? How we gonna argue with that when they say, man, this robot said you finna commit this crime in 2 weeks? How you finna be able to prove yourself? Say, man, I ain't finna commit no crime in 2 weeks. Well, they saying, well, this robot is saying that you are. Oh yeah, D-Monty, we definitely got to master the tech industry. We definitely got to get into it more, man. We got to get into hacking, just the IT fields, then just how to build robots and all that type of stuff, man. That's definitely the way to combat it. That's definitely the way to combat it. 100%. So we definitely got to master the tech field. Definitely got to master it. And that's about to be the new wave. It's pretty much already the new wave, man. So we really got to get on it before it becomes a lot more heavy out here in these streets. So we definitely got to start mastering the tech industry, mastering these robots, mastering IT, mastering AI. Like, we got to master that, building computers and things of that nature. Like, that's the new wave. That's the type of stuff that we're going to have to get into. That's the type of stuff that we're going to have to dabble with. Yeah, that coding is crucial, man. I was even in the process of teaching myself coding and things like that, man. Hacking is very crucial. Building up the drones, programming the drones. Like, these are all the skills that we're going to have. Yeah, D-Monty, man, that'll work. Go ahead, send me that DM. So we just got to start taking our future into our own hands instead of relying on them and depending on them. Man, Tony Briscoe, the best thing that I would recommend is just picking one and learning it. Especially, man, because a lot of these things you could get certifications for. So if you just learn how to code, it's a lot of certifications that you can get with coding. So all you got to do is just start learning it. Then you just get the certifications, and then you listen, you going up from there. So I just recommend just picking one of them, focusing on it, mastering it, getting your certifications, and then going from there. Oh, Travian, you got it, man. That's cybersecurity. That's big. That's big. That's definitely big. Yeah, Magic Realms, and that should be the objective. That should be the objective, man, to get to the point where we're building our own. That should always be the objective. Build our own. Do for self. Being self-sufficient. Always should be the own, because, again, we too dependent upon them in regards to earning a living to take care of ourselves and our families. Too dependent on the enemy. We too dependent on the oppressor, and that's not good. That's not good at all. We need to depend upon ourselves to earn that living, because that way you're not going to shortchange yourself. You're going to get what you deserve. You're going to go after what you deserve instead of accepting what was handed to you. And a lot of times the stuff that we accept that's been handed to us is disrespectful. DJ Elmo, no, I haven't heard of him. I'm going to have to tap into that. But I haven't heard of him. But yeah, we too dependent on them, man. We know good and well that we working for the enemy. Then we get mad with the enemy when they don't give us certain positions, when they don't give us a raise, when they don't give us that promotion. Man, you working for the enemy. You know that you working for the enemy. You know that you working for somebody who don't like you, who don't care for you, who don't want to see you thrive, who don't want to see you rise, who don't want to see you elevate. Can't get mad at that. They just acting according to their nature. They acting according to their nature. So you got to take matters into your own hand, man. Stop begging him for a raise. Stop begging him for a promotion. More than likely, he's not going to give you that. He like to see you beg, so he want to see you continue to beg. We ain't finna be out here begging anybody for certain positions, man, and more money. We ain't begging them for that. You don't want to give me this position? Cool. All right, I create an opportunity to where I give myself the position. That's what we got to start doing. That's the mentality that we got to possess. Because I done seen too many good brothers, man, try to, like I said, move up the corporate ladder, get into corporate America. Myself being one of them. And it just didn't work out. Getting disrespected, man, getting overlooked because you're not kissing up to folks. Like, I'm tired of seeing that happen to my brothers out here. Some good brothers, man, that be trying hard to do what they need to do, man, just get disrespected. Getting disrespected, man. And they just, they selling themselves out, man. They unhappy, they depressed, man, they stressed because they got to act other than their own true self, basically to move up this ladder like that. It ain't cool to see that. It's not cool to see that. It's not cool to bear witness to that. It's not cool to bear witness to that at all, man. But it's cool to bear witness to us doing our own thing and separating ourselves from being dependent upon them. That's what's cool. That's what I like to see. Justin, that's it. We can only rely on ourselves. Joe So Blessed. What's going on? Dominique, what's going on, my brother? Yeah, D Monty, and that's what it's all about, man. You gotta sell yourself out, man. It's a certain song and dance that you gotta memorize and emulate and things of that nature, man. And when you're not willing to do that song and dance, you get discriminated against. You get discriminated against. And you can't be mad at it because, again, you know and understand the foundation of the system. When you know and understand the foundation of the system, then you can't be mad at that type of stuff, man. You cannot be mad at it. You just can't be. DJ Elmo, nah, I don't sell the smoothies or the shakes yet. I got my own. I got an immune boosting powder though. So I got it's Almighty Immunity. It's an immune boosting powder. It helps strengthen the immune system. So that's what I got right now. But I'm gonna definitely start getting into smoothie making though. Cause I'll be making some decent smoothies. So I'm gonna get into that. But right now I just got the immune boosting powder. Oh, Magic Reels, no doubt about it, man. They be putting us, listen, they want us to rock the dresses, man. They want us to act all feminine and things of that nature, man. We already know how that goes. We already know how that goes. Moshe, yeah, I peeped that. And I don't, and I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I don't like that at all. Overqualified, begging for a tenure position, man, from the institution. It's like, dude, why are you doing that? You know how this institution works. You know how the game goes. Why are you begging them for that position? Then when you get the position and they still discriminate against you and treat you unfairly just because you got this status, that don't mean nothing. So what are you begging for at the end of the day? Like, what are you begging for at the end of the day? Master 2, what's going on? So we doing all this begging just to be accepted by them. Then they accept us, and then yet they still discriminate against us. They still treat us unfairly. They don't care nothing about you having a certain position or a certain status, man. They still gonna treat you like the black man that you are. So I don't care to do all that begging. I don't want to be the CEO of Walmart. I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that. But that's what we do, man. We beg for these positions. We beg for these statuses in these white corporations. Then we get them and they still treat us unfairly. They still discriminate against us. Because that's just what they gonna do. Don't matter the position. Yeah, DJ Elmo, and that's what I be saying, man. He can do his own thing. He can do his own thing, just like Nick Cannon. When Nick Cannon talked about the Jews, had to recant the statement. And they give him his show back. Like, man, what are we doing that for? What are we doing that for, man? We got enough power to do our own thing, man. They need us more than we need them. But they have tricked us into believing that we need them more. Oh, D-Monty, no doubt. That's why I got my website again. I got it up and running, man. So I just got to direct people to it. But I got the website. So that's the wave. That's why everything, I'm creating websites and all of that. So it's like things get rough on one platform, I could just direct people to the website. Got everything on that website, which I'm owning that website. Justin, I saw that. And I got a lot of examples of things like that happening working in the bank. When I was working in one of the banks that I worked at, man, I can give y'all the story. One of the people in the mortgage department, they actually quit, send a real nasty email to everybody that worked within the banks, like the higher up. And he basically was saying that he quitting right now because he's tired of rejecting people who are qualified to get approved for these loans. We rejecting them, but then we giving these loans and these mortgages to people who are not qualified. Basically, in so many words, saying we rejecting the qualified black folks and we giving the unqualified white folks the approval. He was tired of it and he just quit abruptly. So I got a lot of examples like that working in the bank. I've seen that type of stuff in my own eyes. Black people more than qualified for loans and stuff like that, not getting approved. White person come in there, gets approved instantly. Yeah, Master Tube, and that's what it is. And one of the reasons why we scared, because again, they have instilled that fear in us. They didn't did what they did to the Black Wall Streets and the Rosewoods and move and things like that. So now in our mind, because I've heard this, people have told me this. They like, man, if we create our own thing, if we create something, then they ain't gonna do nothing but destroy it anyway. That's that fear. That's why a lot of people are afraid to create their own. A lot of black people, because we under the impression that if we create it, they gonna destroy it anyway. So that prevents a lot of people from even creating something in the first place, because we feel like they just gonna destroy it. Marcus G, Nick Cannon was 100% right and exact. Dominique, like I said, I've seen a lot of that. I've seen a lot of that. Oh, Master Tool, yeah, man. Like I said, I can get into a whole spiel about that particular movie, man. Like I said, I was gonna do a video before that movie even dropped about the assassination of Fred Hampton and that whole story, man. I got a whole book on that I read like some years ago. But it's a crazy story. DJ Elmo, it's 100% better to sell your product via your own website. When you sell via like Amazon and eBay, they take a lot more of the profit. The only kind though, when you selling things via your own website, if you're not drop shipping it, you gotta have the inventory and things of that nature. Then you got to be like, if you doing it solo dolo independent, then you gonna have to be the one going to the post office shipping the stuff out. That'll be the kind. But you're gonna get more bang for your buck when you selling the stuff via your own website, opposed to these other websites. They're gonna take a nice chunk of the profit. But like with my books and stuff, man, I ain't like keeping that inventory on me. So I just chose to put my books on Amazon. Powders and whatnot, I keep the powders on me. Yeah, Nick Lewis, that's what it's about. I ain't trying to like anything that I'm going to attend gonna be something that I created. That's why I'm working on my little joint for the summer. Like, I ain't nobody finna be able to ban me from my own conference, from my own seminar, from my own whatever it is that I'm deciding to build. Like, I don't even care about all that type of stuff, because I'm gonna just create my own. I literally just don't care about this system to the point where I'm not trying to get invited no more. I don't want to speak nowhere. Like, I'm just gonna create my own opportunities. I'm gonna create my own engagements. I'm gonna do my own thing. Like, I'm just tired of it, man. That's how fed up I am with the nonsense, because I already know what's gonna happen. I already know what's gonna happen. Yeah, Moshe, they definitely start to disappear when we advocate for ourselves. They definitely do that. Definitely. Yeah, Dominique, I've seen a lot of brothers like that, man. I've seen a lot of brothers like that, man. They got a rap sheet. Man, they got a rap sheet that, as long as this book that's in front of me, that's 600 pages, man, and they didn't work their way out of it just to continue to get discriminated against. It's like, man, we already know what there is no refinement coming out of the prison system. Like, they preaching all that good stuff, but when these brothers come out of there, they trying to send them right back in there. They not trying to give them no opportunities. They not trying to see the change in that brother. They want them brothers to go right back in there. Yeah, Master Tube, I've been seeing a lot of people linking our names together. DJ Elmo, a drop shipping business, profitable, pros and cons. Now, drop shipping, like the hoodies, like my clothes, I do that through drop shipping. Again, the biggest con of that is the bang for your buck. The bang for your buck, but less inventory. So it makes it a lot easier. Makes it a lot easier. Less inventory. You don't have to ship anything out. Somebody orders it, they ship, they do everything for you, ship it out. So at that point, it's like, is it really less bang for your buck because you're really not doing anything but creating a product? Dominique, hey, man, that powder, hey, people sleep on that powder, man. People sleep on this immune boosting powder, man. We changing the game. We changing the game. We changing the game with the powder. D Monty, that's crazy, man. Wanted to go back to prison just for the library access. That's crazy, man. But hey, believe it or not, though, some people be finding a lot of peace in prison. Like, even when I read Tukey Williams' book, man, some people really be finding themselves in prison. Malcolm X. So a lot of people be finding themselves in prison, man. It's just sad that when they get back out in the real world still treats them like a criminal, man. They don't see the change and don't even believe that the change is possible. It's like, what you lock them up for? Talking about rehabilitation and all that type of stuff, man. What's the point of locking him up, giving him 10 years? If you finna treat him the same way after the 10 years, man, what's the point? Might as well keep him in there then. But hey, I it's a lot of people, man, that they find themselves in prison. They find themselves, for one, it's like because you forced to. Because when you be out in the world, man, it's too many distractions, man. You got too much going on. When you locked up, man, it's like sometimes you forced to sit there with yourself and figure yourself out, man. So sad to say, some brothers be needing that. Master Tube, man, I got my website. I can place the link in the description once I get done, but it's on my website. You can just go to the website and order it. But it's definitely on the website, man. I'm gonna place the link of the website. I'm gonna place the link for the powder in the description box once I get done. But we changing the game, man. I ain't finna buy they powders no more. I'm gonna create my own. I know how to combat viruses out here, so I created my own concoction. It's like, that's the type of stuff that we need to do. I ain't finna keep making them rich by buying their concoction. I know what's needed to fight off a virus, to keep the immune system strong, to make the immune system strong, create my own joint. Like they making money doing it. Why can't I do it? Antoinette, Peach Queen, what's going on? Yeah, DJ Elmo, I got y'all, man. I'm gonna definitely put that link once this live stream is done. I'm gonna put the link in the description box, and I'm gonna let y'all know I got about 2 more on me. Then I gotta get some more ingredients. So I got about 2 powders left. Then I gotta get some more ingredients. So when I place this link, man, y'all better order that joint fast because I got 2 on me now. Then I gotta get some more ingredients. So it'll take about a week or so to get the ingredients and make some more. Yeah, Magic Rims, we gotta be all of that. We gotta be all of that, man. Just like I seen a meme on Facebook saying that your friend's clothing line or your brother's clothing line is designer too. See, that's how we got to start viewing the people that we rock with. I ain't just saying you got to support everybody because they black. It's the people that you rock with that look like you. The people that you can trust that look like you. The people that you do trust that look like you. It's like, man, if they come out with a clothing line, they come out with a clothing brand, man, look, that's designer too. That's Gucci. That's Nike. You got to look at it in that light, man. You got to support them the same way that you would support that designer brand, the same way you love those designer clothes. Especially when it's some decent quality, man. It's people out here with decent quality clothes that are black. It's like we got to start viewing them in that light, man. This is a decent quality brand right here. So I'm finna support them. I'm not finna complain about how much the shirt costs, how much the hoodie costs. I'm not gonna complain about it because it's nice quality and I rock with this person. I'm about to support them. We got to put these businesses out of business that be exploiting us, be making money off of us. Terenzo, no doubt. And that's big connection right there. Big things brewing. Yeah, D Monty, and that's what it's all about. And again, you ain't just got to support somebody because they black. People be missing that. People be thinking that that's what I'm saying. Nah, it's a bunch of black people that'll rip you off out here too because they learning from the beast and they emulating the beast. So it's a lot of black people that can't trust them neither. Can't be buying their product. Bad service, just like you got bad service in these white businesses, in these Asian businesses, in these Arab businesses. You're gonna have that within every ethnic group. But again, it's plenty of people out here that's black that you can trust though, that got decent quality products, great quality products. Master Tube, exactly, man. All of these businesses, for the most part, if you take away the black dollar, they'll be struggling. Yeah, Louisiana, man, listen, man, I got on Nip shirt right now, man. It's a good quality shirt. Brother Nip, man, when I supported them, man, back when dude was alive, but man, it was some good quality clothes, man. And people were just talking about the price. I'm like, man, it's a good quality shirt. Got no problem spending some bread on this shirt. It's a good quality joint. So I bought 2. Dominique, man, I can't even remember dude, but man, yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is, man. People be getting locked up and they be finding themselves, man. It's a lot of people that came out just elevated mentally after being locked up, man. Sometimes, and again, just on the outside world, that's when I started to free myself. When I started to isolate, confine myself, solitary confinement. So when I started to isolate and lock myself up in a room, that's when I started to find myself. That's when I started to elevate mentally. So you can apply that same strategy to life, man. When I locked myself up in the outside world, that's when I started to come across a lot of knowledge and just find myself mentally. Yeah, D Monty, we definitely got to have patience with our people, especially when you know and understand that, again, like they just starting out, they ain't got the funds that a Walmart has. They don't have the type of funds that a Walmart or a Nike has. So it's like we got to know and understand that. Like we too quick to criticize our own, like they are a big time corporation. Man, they just now starting out. It's a mom and pop shop. They don't have the same resources as Walmart, Nike, and all of that. Whole different ball game, man. So we got to know and understand that. We got to operate according to that level. You got to have a perception that reflects that reality. You can't be looking at this mom and pop shop and expecting them to have the same type of funds and the same type of resources as Walmart and Nike. They don't. They can't afford to make their product $10, man. They won't make anything and they'll be out of business tomorrow. So of course they're gonna have to make their product a little more expensive, man, because they try and stay in business. That's the name of the game. They can't afford to make their prices cheap like Walmart. They just cannot do that right now. DJ Elmo, and that's all I've always talked about. We spend trillions of dollars yearly. Thunder Scorpion, what's going on? So I don't want to hear anything about and working in the bank. I already came to this conclusion. But the last thing we could be sitting here saying is we broke as black people, because we not broke. We not broke. We not broke. We just spend our money incorrectly. But we not broke though. We generating the money. And the proof of that is in the spending power, but we generate the money. We've been generating the money. So we not broke collectively. We just spend our money with the wrong people. And the money doesn't stay within the community. And DJ Elmo, I can see that. I can see that too. I can see that. But again, another thing, we just got to stop acting like financially we broke as a people, because we really not. Dominique, no doubt. And don't get me wrong, man, I rock with some Nike. But again, if I find a brother that's out here selling something, guess what? I got that too, though. I got that too, though. Man, if a dude I rock with got a hoodie or a shirt, I got it. I'm buying it. Oh, you selling these, y'all? You selling these tank tops? Got it. Man, I done bought book bags from my people, man. Like, I done bought some everything from my people, man. If I rock with you, I'm going to buy it. I'm going to buy something. Man, I got a client right now was talking about a business she was over. I'm like, man, hey, let me know when it open up so I can support it. Man, I done bought masks from black people. Y'all don't even rock masks like that. I done bought masks from my people, man. I done did all that. Man, you making masks, let me buy them from you. I'd rather buy the mask from you than buy it from them. So I'm going to give you $10 for this mask. I'm going to give you $15, $20 for this mask. I might not even rock this mask, but I'm going to buy it from you, though. I may not even use. I done bought stuff from black folks they ain't even used. I just bought it off the strength. Hey, let me go ahead and support you, man. I respect what you're doing. I ain't going to use it, but I respect what you're doing. Yeah, DJ Elmo, Nike wouldn't even exist without us at all. Most of these companies wouldn't exist without us. Yeah, D-Monty. And then not only did we stop wearing FUBU, but people started making fun of you for wearing the FUBU. Black folks was making fun of you for wearing FUBU, the little FUBU jersey. You started to get that started to be a joke. That started to be an insult. You rocking FUBU. DJ Elmo, man, I remember that clip when he created the Big Baller brand and everybody was clowning him for that. Man, I was getting argument after argument about LeVar Ball and that whole situation. Man, I was getting into so many arguments, and that's when I realized we got a long way to go. I said, man, what are y'all talking about? Oh, man, they should have took the deal with Nike. They should have took a deal with such and such, with Adidas, whoever they should have took the deal with. I'm like, wow. So y'all think this dude is crazy for coming out with his own shoe, coming out with his own brand, and then making it pricey, not really understanding what he's doing. Instead, we want to criticize it. I was getting into a lot of arguments with people when he was doing that. D-Monty, and there's science behind that. It's science behind that. You know, I'm in marketing, so they already broke down the science behind that. They tell you when you're going into business for yourself, they tell you the benefit of creating a high-priced product. People think that they are paying for higher quality. So if you got something and it costs $200, people think they paying for quality. Meanwhile, the quality can be garbage. So a lot of these corporations, a lot of these big time corporations, they overpricing things because they tricking you. They got you thinking that if I spend this $200, then I'm getting $200 worth of quality. When in reality, you may be getting $50 worth of quality. That's a marketing tactic. I learned that in school. They said, man, when you create something that's high priced, the people think that they are paying for that type of quality. Whole while the quality may be garbage. So that's a big benefit, and that's a reason why a lot of these companies or a lot of people create high priced products. Is for that reason. Yeah, Moshe, and that's it. Yep. I mean, that's it. That's it. We supporting everybody else. We go out of our way to support everybody else too. We go out of our way to support everybody else and criticize our own. That's what we do. We go out of our way to do that. Yeah, D-Mont. And then I don't know if you all know about Master P, but Master P got a shoe, and the shoe is expensive, and people was criticizing the shoe. And another thing, Master P, when he came out with the rice, all of a sudden black people would start being into health now. What's the sodium in the rice? And I'm like, man, look at y'all pantry. Y'all got Dr. Ben's, right? Y'all got all this rice that y'all done got from these stores that's unhealthy. And y'all finna sit here and be like, what's the sodium in his rice? Now y'all concerned about sodium now. Got all the canned goods, got all the box goods in your crib, but when Master P drops something, you worried about sodium now. Come on, man. Justin, man, hey, you got a link. Oh, okay, there go the website. I'm gonna check that out. I'm gonna check it out. Yeah, Master 2, that's really all that matters, man. It's really, as long as it look good. Yeah, Thunder Scorpion, man, I'm telling you, everybody was a health critic. It was like, man, it got to be a lot of sodium in that rice. All of a sudden, we worried about sodium. We already passed our sodium limit for the day, and we sitting here saying his rice got too much sodium, and which it may have. But man, when you look at all the stuff that you didn't consume throughout the day and all the sodium in that, now you sitting there criticizing him, not gonna support him because of the sodium. Okay. But you finna go right to that grocery store and you finna buy you some white rice, and you finna buy you some canned goods, and it ain't gonna be organic canned goods. It's gonna be canned goods that got a ton of sodium in it. But you finna tell Master P his rice got too much sodium. Man, Dominique, I've watched people get enormous tax returns and they won't pay off simple debts. Like they owe the bank money but won't pay it off, and they getting thousands of dollars from the tax return. I have watched people just do crazy things with tax money. Yeah, the Monty, and that's it. Yeah, the Balenciaga joints. They like, oh, them dope. Master P shoe ugly though, and it costs too much. Thunder Scorpion, I remember that, man. Oh man, I remember, what was that, man? Lloyd Banks had the song. He said he said something about things get uglier than a Master P sneaker. And this was before, like this was back in the day. But man, yeah, I remember, man, Master P. Listen, and I'm not even gonna lie. Like I just support Master P off the strength because I respect the way that he moved. But man, he didn't put out some things that ain't the best quality, like some of the movies that he didn't put out. Not the best quality. But I'm watching all of them. I'm just supporting him off the strength of him being Master P. Even some of the music that they put out wasn't the best quality because they was more so focused on quantity. They was focused on just putting out a lot of music. So sometimes the music quality wasn't the best because they was just trying to put out a lot. So they was focused on quantity. So Master P done had a lot of Master P done had a lot of stuff that I ain't gonna necessarily be like, man, that was the greatest quality. But man, I tried to support most of the things that he did because I rocked with how he moved. I respected the way that he moved. I ain't finna sit here and just talk bad about him though and bash him when I ain't came close to doing some of the stuff that he doing. Yeah, Solo T40, man, we show off. We want to act like, we want to look like we got the money instead of actually having the money. We just want to look like we got it though. That's what's more important to us. Yeah, Thunder Scorpion. P. Miller did look, it did look better. A lot better, but it was trial and error. Justin Green, man, they've been hating on P for a minute. They've been hating on P for a minute. Oh, hey, no, I'm not. Listen, he got the hood classics, but I'll be sitting here lying saying that it was top quality. I'm the first one to tell you, man, it'd be low budget black movies. It ain't top quality, but that don't mean that it's not. It just ain't the best quality. But I understood why it's not the best quality, man. But y'all, no, they was some classic joints, just wasn't the best quality and the best acting. The acting and the quality was like not the greatest, but I'm still watching it because I'm tapped in and I fool with it. And I knew what it was. I ain't watching a Master P movie thinking that this finna be the greatest movie of all time as far as quality and acting and stuff like that. I already know what we finna get. So when I look at it and watch it for what it is, man, it be good. DJ Elmo, man, Master P out here connecting with a lot of folks. Like I said in another video, man, he connected with Wise Intelligent. Like that threw me off. I'm like, man, he connected to the poor righteous teachers out here. I'm like, man, Master P, they out here. It's a lot of people out here making moves. A lot of people out here making moves. Ed Terenzo, master psychology, mastered his power. Yeah, Dominique, and that's why I was looking at the greater purpose, man. I was looking at I supported Nip just off the strength. I supported him off the strength. I'm like, man, let me buy this shirt. Let me buy a few of these shirts, man. Yeah, these some good shirts. Good quality shirts. Yeah, Thunder Scorpion, man. That's the movie. Like, and then he came out, what was it, Hot Boys or whatever? Now I ain't but yeah. Well, man, Pete did a lot of things, man. Pete did a lot of things. That's one of the ones that I respect the most right there. Like, I respect Master P the most. Like, Master P almost could do no wrong in my eyes, man. That's what Master P is, that dude to me. Now, of course he could do wrong, but man, Master P is somebody who I like the way that he has moved. I respect the way that he has moved over time. And like DeMonte, I was just about to say, he hasn't sold himself out. And then on top of that, you know not to mess with Master P. You mess with Master P, that's not gonna end well for you. So on top of that, like, Master P still got that type of respect too. You're not about to do anything to Master P. You're not about to just run up on Master P. You're gonna have to pay for that. So we also gotta have that as well, man. We can't be walking around acting like we ain't gotta protect ourselves. Gotta have that shield on us, man. So you run up on Master P, it's gonna be a problem for you. Nah, Airview, that ain't no, that was just us breaking it down in another way. But nah, yeah, that's his name though, Percy. But I respect the way that he moved, and I respect the way that he still moved. Oh, Master 2. Oh, yeah, in the beginning, the whole topic, because you know how we deviate from topics around here. But when I was talking about destroying the youth and the future when we fight, when we beat, basically what I was saying was, when we sit around here, because it's an agenda out here to create this division between black man, black woman. So anytime that we push that agenda, we participate in that agenda, the only people that suffer, the people that truly suffer, the youth, the children, that's who really suffer. When you sit around and you bashing black men in front of your young black son, you harming that young black man in ways that you can't even fathom and imagine. And vice versa. If you a black man and you talking bad about black women around their young black daughter, you are harming the mind of that young black daughter, that young black woman, in ways you can't even fathom. So it's like anytime that we participate in that type of division, destruction, beef, fight, whatever it is we want to call it, we are destroying our future. We are destroying our future. And we got to stop doing that. We got to stop destroying the future and wonder why the future is destroyed when we look at it and analyze it. We destroying it because we was talking bad about one another when the children was around listening. And we think that they not listening. They picking up on everything. They picking up on what we say. They picking up on what we say, man. They picking up on the vibes. They picking up on the energy. Yeah, imagine we're like everything you picking up, everything is resonating with that child, man. So that's why you got to be real mindful in regards to what it is that you are saying when you are around the seeds. Because again, man, they are like sponges. That's the best time to pick up things right there when you young, man, when that brain is fresh. Man, I forget stuff way more, like way easier now, opposed to back then. Man, I was remembering everything back then, man. The brain was fresh. Now it's like, man, you be having to write this stuff down. You had to do that stuff back then. So you really got to watch what you tell them children. Man, they remember it too. They remember what you said. Especially when you doing it repeatedly. They remembering it. It's sticking with them. So you got to be mindful of all of that. Yeah, Louisiana. He said that and he meant it too. He meant it too. He meant it. He wasn't playing with him, man. He wasn't finna be afraid. He wasn't afraid of Suge. He wasn't afraid of him at all. Yeah, Thunder Scorpion. That's kind of the same. Yeah, that's kind of what happened to me. I kind of sat back and realized, like, Dad, what was I listening to? But man, I still respect the way that he moved, though. Still respect the way that he moved. But again, the future is in our hands, y'all. Future is in our hands, man. We got to be mindful, man, of the seeds that we plant. The seeds that we plant in the minds of the seeds out here, man. We got to be real mindful of that. Got to be real careful with what you say about the black man or the black woman around these children. Got to be real mindful, real careful in regards to what we say around them because they picking up on it. They picking up on it and they living it out. So not only are they picking up on that, they living it out. So you got to watch the words that you utter about black men and black women around the young black man and the young black woman. They paying attention. That's crucial in regards to the detriment of our race, man, the detriment of our people. It's crucial. We don't want to be spitting all this negativity out here, man, because again, we don't want them picking up on that. It's a way for us to settle our differences without getting on social media blasting one another. Stuff's starting to get a little too lame. We don't have to keep running the social media, man, blasting one another. It is getting very lame, especially when it's grown men doing it. That's just lame, man. What are we doing? Like, what are we showing the future generation? That it's cool for you as a grown man to just get up on a platform and cry about black women all day. Like, come on, man. We got to grow up. We got to be better than that. We got to be stronger than that. That's lame and that's whack and that's soft. But if these young black seeds see that and they like, and then they see that you can profit from it, guess what? They're going to start doing it. They gonna start doing, they gonna emulate that. You gonna say, man, look at this dude. This dude bashing black women, and he got a lot of people rocking, because you know what, the society we live in, we looking at subscribers, we looking at views, we looking at people who tapped in. So when they say, oh man, this dude bashing black women, he got he got a 500,000 subscribers, he got 1 million views on this video. He must be making some money. I'm gonna start doing that. So we gotta really be mindful, man. I'm telling you, man, we not really realizing what we're doing. When you get on a platform and you bash black men, black women, and then that goes viral, you have just messed up the younger generation, because they're gonna see that. They're gonna see that. They're gonna see that it just went viral. They're gonna say, oh, this all I got to do to go viral? Let me create the next viral piece of content. Bash a black man, bash a black woman. That's all I'm gonna do. Yeah, Louisiana, go right to the source. Go right to the source. Instead, we want to run. Matter of fact, what's crazy? Nowadays, when we go to this the crazy thing about that. Nowadays, we go to the source with the sole intention of broadcasting it. So now we don't even go to the source with intentions of solving a problem. We go into the source so we can create a viral video. We want y'all to see how crazy such is. So we finna go to the source, but we gonna have the phone running. We're gonna have the camera up. That's what we do. So we don't even go to the source with the right intentions. We go to the source like, I'm finna start this fight so the world can see it. Like, man, that's corny. That's corny. You went to the source, but then you broadcasting the whole entire thing. That don't even make any sense. What you doing? Put your phone down. You ain't gotta broadcast everything. Everything don't need to be broadcasted. Jay Valentino, what's going on? Oh, D Monty, no doubt, man. That's we tapped in. That's why I get on here as consistently as I do, because I already know the nonsense that's out here. I'm striving hard to neutralize it. Because it's ridiculous, man. That's the only way to attack it, D Monty. That's the only way. But I'm out here striving to neutralize all the wickedness that's out here, man. All the unrighteousness, man, the devilishment, all of that. Yeah, DJ Elbow, the young bulls ready, man. That's why I'm starting to chop it up more with the young bulls, man. I want the young bulls on my team. I don't want the young bulls looking at me like, dude don't rock with his dude. Nah, I want the young bulls to be like, that's OG, he protected. Man, them young bulls gonna look out for you. But if you just out here condemning them and criticizing them, then guess what? They not gonna care for you at all. So you want the young bulls on your side, on your team. Them young bulls got your back. Them young bulls gonna have your back, man, when it's all said and done, when you look out for them, when you drop the jewels on them and give them the guidance. Yeah, it's Lorenzo, psychological murder. That's what it is. That's what it is. But we ain't got it, man. We ain't got to keep running to these platforms, though. We ain't got to keep running to these platforms, man, airing out our problems and things of that nature. We ain't got to keep doing that for the world to see, because again, they making this stuff viral, man. Got us looking all bad out here. So we ain't got to keep playing right into their hands, man, where they sitting back applauding all this, man, and this nonsense. We got to quit giving them the fuel, yo. We got to quit giving them that, man. We got to quit giving them that, supplying them with the ammunition, supplying them with it. But with that being said, y'all, man, I got to tap out for the day, man. I got long little day, man. So I got to get some regimens constructed and whatnot for some classes I got later on today, man. So I got to sit back and chill before I got to get on up to this gym. So this was another peaceful stream, man. I appreciate all the comments, appreciate the interaction, appreciate the dialogue. Probably tap in again with y'all tomorrow around the same time, possibly. Around the same time, possibly, man. So y'all be easy. Y'all enjoy the rest of this Wednesday. I'm out, y'all. Y'all stay powerful, stay positive, stay productive. Peace.